For the last video of the year, I do want to talk about an important topic to me, a discussion here, and I've been kind of having an issue making this video because I want to get some things out. I mean, we've been playing Destiny, a lot of us have been for 7 years, and I feel pretty confident that if you're playing Destiny, watching this video, you love the game in some fashion. There's no getting around that. You're interested, it's your hobby. It's a shared passion that we all have. So with the title here, I do want to talk about being bad, being a dad, and getting good. There are a lot of players in Destiny, and you have to remember some play as a hobby. A way to get away. There's a lot of things going on in the world. Some can play 10 hours a day, some 2 hours a week. We all have different things going on, different backgrounds, different skills, but one thing is the same, this shared passion. There are two sides that I want to really talk about in this video. And with those two sides, there's going to be some hard to swallow pills. But in the end, we need to be better to each other. Before I get into it, on a lighter note, there is a great deal going on with the sponsor of today's video, Surfshark VPN. Rounding out the year, they have a great deal going on. Surfshark encrypts your data, it keeps it safe. It's an extra layer of security for your photos, your videos, all your personal stuff so no one can see it. It has your true IP address, it's extremely easy to use, and my favorite thing is that it's the only privacy product that allows unlimited simultaneous devices. Most of them limit you, but not Surfshark. You can have it on your phone, your desktop, as many devices as you want. It works as an app or browser extension, and that allows you to place your phone or laptop anywhere in the world. Let's take HBO Max. It isn't available in some countries, so you just change your location and it's going to open up. For Netflix, there are about 15 different Netflix libraries out there to go out and explore, and with changing your location to different areas, you can see what's playing around the world. When it comes to gaming, Surfshark is great. You can game in full privacy and security, and that includes big ones like hiding your IP in Discord and other chats, just not have to worry about it. And you can also prevent ISP throttling from your provider and actually get faster speeds than what they're capping you at. Protection is key, so use my code CoolGuy to get 83% off plus 4 extra months free. There's a link down below right at the top of the description. If for whatever reason you're unhappy, they do back a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk to try it out for yourself. I really hope you get behind Surfshark as they've gotten behind me. Don't miss out on this really good deal that they have for us. I'm pretty sure over the years, and it could have been as recent as today, that you've seen some nasty messages. Could be Twitter, in-game, Reddit, wherever, but it's not just messages, it's an attitude, a mindset. Even if anything isn't actually said, it's a mindset. So this video is going to be about toxicity. And I'm focusing on the Crucible here, but it spreads across the entire game. PvP-wise, again, there are two main sides that I want to point out a couple things to. A reminder of what's going on here. The first side, and the side I'm probably going to spend the majority of the video on, the meta players. Steps, stompies, dunes, hand cannons, shotgun, sniper, meta SMGs, and so on. Usually they're in groups. They like to talk when they're stacked with their friends that are doing the same exact thing. They love to talk then. I'll get into that more in a moment. Now the second side, off meta. Bows, some pulses, scouts, using ability builds, maybe going for one punch, liar's handshake, sunbracers, getaway artist, arc buddy, many more. Usually these are solo players. As you would imagine, for years, each side gets mad at the other for simply playing the game the way that they want to play it. Like, what are we doing here, guys? Because the fun fact, the reality, you don't need to apologize for what you're using. And I want to stress that today. It's not about what you're using, it's about what you're saying. And it starts with that initial message. It gets sent, it goes on, and the other claps back. We get it. But each side isn't wrong for their weapon usage. There's no underground gentleman's agreement. The meta crowd wants to win, and you can't fault them for that. The non-meta crowd wants to explore the game. There are no rules, and these two sides collide daily. But when it goes too far, one side's telling the other to get good, trying to make him feel bad. LOL, you're a dad, using that pulse, or you're trash. All you do is stay in the back, but the other side calls him out for using the meta, sends nasty messages the other way. I first want to start with the meta crowd, and again, this is the majority of the video. I get it. It's like using anything that's hot in Call of Duty or Battlefield, any game. The best weapons, the best gear, all the time, no mercy. But there's something that you guys need to remember. First of all, not everyone plays the same game you play. There's a version of Destiny that you enjoy that others don't really care to take part in. And when things go south for you, and you start to spew all those nasty messages, looking down at other players, trying to take that joy away from them. Destiny's a very big game with a very big sandbox. You have found and you are using the most lethal loadouts in the game because that's Destiny to you. But that loadout, you need to remember. As an example, hand cannons, they have been proven to be one of the most forgiving weapons in the entire game. Huge aim assist cone. At 0 aim assist, it's 2.5 degrees, and at 100 aim assist, it's a full 3 degrees. These things are shooting cannonballs and hitting gratuitous headshots, while other weapons are just using regular bullets. In Ice Luna reviews, people are talking about how easy it is to get to 100 aim assist. Like, that's where we're at. Oh, moving target, it gets the aim assist to 95, then targeting here, an adjuster there. It's at 100, you want 100. That's where we're at. The most popular lethal weapons are popular for a good reason. They're easy to win with. In comparison, But if that isn't good enough, then there's the best available shotguns in the game. Chaperone's the furthest, and we have Fellwinter, the greatest of each archetype. And just in case some dad gets the best of you, now you've got your Stompies, the Steps, the Dunes, and if you pay close attention, a lot of the time, Destiny players are just trying to get within 15 meters of each other to show that knee slide movement skill gap. But here's what I want to point out, it's something that I just don't get. This is the easiest, most lethal loadout in the game. When you get outplayed, and you're gonna get outplayed, remember, there's another human being on the other side who enjoys a different destiny, and they just celebrated taking you out. So then, you get a little upset, you start sending some messages to those players, trying to bring them down. They're not using what you're using, and you're just trying to ruin their moment. Ruin their day, it's kind of mind-boggling. And just a recap, like listen to these words, look at it on paper. Imagine using a 100 aim assist hand cannon, the longest hitting shotgun, high stats all around, tight all together with free movement, just juiced and jacked to the core. Then messaging someone after they beat you, hey, you're trash. Does that just sound off? What world are we in plain terms, on an extreme? It's like going to a pool hall with a $1,000 pool cue and your opponent is using a broomstick. They're not really equipped at all for the game that you're playing, but a skillful player will sit you down with that broomstick. You should be winning with what you're using. And when you do get one shot by a Monarch, or one shot body shot by a sniper, don't get mad at them for doing that. They built into that, just like how you built into the best. Look at any of my reviews, god rolls are only what you make them. The same with builds. To you non-meta players, don't think that you're not responsible for a lot of this as well. Remember, really realize what you're doing. On paper, you're supposed to lose. I think we can all understand wanting to win. That's exactly what the meta players are doing. You can't fault them for that. All around balance is going to be up to Bungie. So if it's in the game, it's fair game. That goes both ways. If you're using a sidearm at a trace rifle, you can't have the Pikachu surprise face meme when you get outgunned. You're choosing to use a broomstick on the pool table. It's something that you signed up for, so there's no real reason to message them after. The sweet victory of, let's say, a one-shot throwing hammer is going to be quite enough. So yeah, this side isn't free of it. You guys also need to do a little bit better as well. They're allowed to have their game in the same way, so you're allowed to have yours. In gaming, competitive nature does come into play, and I can understand reaching player growth potential as far as skill, wanting to do better, improving, but do not take your lack of improvement out on anyone. That's a you thing, and I'm telling you right now, once you self-reflect, that's where the true growth comes from. Your mistakes, what you did, not what they did. And for those at the back, the build didn't beat you, that weapon didn't beat you, the sweat didn't beat you, another human beat you. The same goes for M&K versus controller, just all these topics throughout the years. Who cares? For whatever reason, people are still trying to make Destiny the most non-competitive game ever made, the most competitive game ever made. Because honestly, I am happy for that crowd, they find joy in that, but guys, if you get that way, that mindset, keep that toxic mindset way over there. Because from a pure competitive standpoint, Destiny has never been supported for esports, and if you're truly gifted, or if you think you are at least, you need to go play Halo. You need to go play COD, go play Apex. That's where you should be. Here's what I think. As the years have gone on, that Destiny sweat scene, it slowly declined. And it might be surprising to you, but I am very happy to say that I am glad that it's declined. I cannot think of one good thing the sweat scene has brought to Destiny. Not one thing. Just negativity, toxicity, and egos. And I also think that when it started, very bad leaders were in place to oversee it. Even now, very few are welcoming. I'm still trying to look around and try to find a face of someone out there who can build that community in a competitive Destiny scene. But it just hasn't been there. I do hope someone can turn it around because that mindset started then and it never went away. I've said it in a previous video. If Destiny ever goes full-blown MLG, I will be there in the first row to cheer you on. But it's not, and never at the expense to the rest of us. The majority of players in Destiny PvP play 6v6, then a small portion 3v3 trials, then an even smaller portion regular 3v3. And after that, even smaller is custom 3v3. The core player base does not care about sweat rules. No one cares about banned exotics. That is not the game that we're playing. That is not the sandbox that we're in. That's not the universe we enjoy. If it's in the game, it's fair play. People can and should use whatever they want. 100 aim assist here, shadow dive there, OEM, dunes, bows, all of it. But when you get outplayed, maybe ask that player that smacked you around a little bit with that sidearm how they made that build, what they're doing. Learn a little bit, grow a little bit. Because we can all establish that Destiny is just full of cheesy things. But it's a very fun game that has a ton to offer to all of us. So no matter what you use what you want. But the toxic messages, they need to stop, man. What I've been waiting for is some sort of scenario where a tried and true Stompy main is paired up with a tried and true Top Tree Dawnblade main. They go out and find a Monarch Hand Cannon Quick Swap main. They go play some games and slay out. That is what Destiny is all about. That diversity, the little bits of expression, the challenges that we choose to create for ourselves. But those toxic messages, that overly critical mindset, just keep it to yourself. There's no reason for it. You're not going to remember it next week, probably not even the next day. So going into next year, I do encourage you to be present in the moment, enjoy the build, and take a moment to respect and celebrate the one that just smacked you around a little bit. And I want you to remember 2 more things. Again, if you're still playing this game 7 years later, I would assume you like the game in some way. And the second thing, it's okay to disagree. I recently made a Stompy video and there was, some interesting comments in that one. It's perfectly okay to disagree and to talk about things. That's where some of the fun is. Buff this, nerf that. Maybe if this subclass had this. However, the moment that turns into toxicity and into intentional hurt, that's where the problem is. And even with a disagreement, if we're all adults here, that doesn't mean we still can't have a beer afterwards, or for some of you, maybe not a beer, maybe a chocolate milk. There are, of course, things we cannot change. With the internet, faceless people do faceless things. But as we go into this next year, I do encourage you to try to be better. Be better to each other, be excellent to each other, because Destiny's a wild game. It's always changing, always surprising, and we get to experience that together. We're all fans. And I want to make this video the thoughts that I've had. I personally have big plans for 2022. As we go forward into the new year, life's a little strange, but together we do have Destiny. And it's more than a game to some of us. It's our escape, our joy, our shared love. So the next time you're on, make someone's day, give a GG every now and again. You've heard my story before in previous videos. That dude just might become your best friend, Monarch and all. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching. And until the next one, I am CoolGuy.